All right, so this is happening. Got a planter trailer hooked up, and we're gonna try to go get a threshing machine. We're gonna get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Man, Keck Gonnerman threshing machine. And we're gonna try to haul it on this planter trailer. I don't know what we're gonna get into or what we're gonna need, but I brought some ramps and stuff. This trailer's obviously made where you can slide it to the ground. However, I've used it before, and when you do that, number A, it's kind of hard to hook it back, get it back with a full load on it, but number two, it's made in such a way that you're supposed to load from the side, and what I'm gonna do really needs to go over the end. So we're gonna have to mess around with that. We might just see if I can jack the front of the trailer up and use ramps and just get it over the edge, but we will find that out in time. We first got to get there, so that's what we're gonna do. All right, we're headed that way. This trailer is super wide. I mean, it's made to haul implements, so you just got to watch what you're doing when you're driving down the road, because people might not be paying attention and you don't want them to hit those wheels, especially when it's not your trailer and you borrowed it from somebody. So yeah, I figure we're just gonna go slow this whole affair, and whatever happens happens. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping this will work. I don't know why it wouldn't, but you know, there's always a way, or there's always a reason why something could go wrong. So we're just gonna hope that doesn't happen. All right, no good plan here. One thing I'm gonna do, I think, is turn the hitch over on the truck to get that up a little bit higher. It'd be nice if there was some terrain around here where a guy could pull that made it a lot closer to the ground. Because like I said, I think we're gonna have to just end load it. And it's on those walking tandems, so it should pivot and hopefully lift the truck up a little bit. I think I'm gonna experiment with turning around and seeing if it'll get this closer to the ground. Well, this is the best we came up with. We'll see what happens.
Way a lot more than I thought.
That's not the board I thought would break either. We're not even to the worst one.
We can run over to Uncle Paul's. He's got some native stuff over there. He might have some thick piece that might run, at least hit them 2 braces.
Yeah.
Because if you get up a board, it's going to do that.
if he can lift it up, we'll try to slide it over that other metal to the other frame where that. Well, this is turning into quite the ordeal. So hopefully the trailer's a little more rickety than it needs to be. So I don't know. Like here. Oh. On the trip home. What I do along the side of the road if it's...
You just got to go really slow and make sure you're filming it so it'll be good YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
If you put one chain around that,
you got to start off saying, well, boys, they told me to send it.
I think I need to...
You'll want to chain both wheels.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm thinking I want to chain both ways.
And you can, well, you can go to that chain with two short chains and you know what I mean? That way it doesn't swivel.
If you go slow, not any big bumps, I think you'll be alright.
I don't know, a lot of stuff moves when you drive.
As long as you don't hit any grass.
So if I take a chain and I go through both of these wheels and hook it back here and tighten it, then I need to go through the back side of these two wheels and go that way and tighten it. And then leave that chain like it is and then get another chain and pull backwards on that wheel. I think it'll be fine, right?
I put most of your force back here. I wouldn't pull down on these real hard. And then you're gonna be
So
shoving
you're-
the boards down.
You got to pull this way.
Pull backward. Like
Yeah,
towards
yeah,
the
you
truck.
can't do that. They'd pull it. But yeah, you got to come off the wheel. I guess go around here.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Lord. I wonder if,
Or else you could do, you could do just the back wheel and then just throw a strap through those so they don't.
So I wouldn't pull down on these real hard. You'd be shoving down your boards.
Yeah.
I'd strap it solid in the back across that beam.
And then maybe just keep
This
it.
isn't,
throw a
I mean, that's bolted solid. This isn't a thing around. This still works on these.
strap to the spokes.
If you take it to the fair, you gotta find a better way to haul it though.
I'm doing that. Once
Take
it
it to
gets
the fair,
up,
take it to the fair, take it down.
yeah. I just as soon get the tires fixed and pull it with a tractor if I took it to the fair. Oh, friends, this is probably the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done. I do not enjoy this at all. I am very, very nervous that at any moment something terrible could happen, and what am I gonna do? I got out of the most curvy part. Now I gotta go down a little stretch of highway, which is nerve-wracking in itself because there's one place where it's construction and the road is to one lane, and if it would mess up in there, boy, I would be in a terrible position. Then after we get through that, we've got a short stretch through a town neighborhood. Got to cross a railroad track. That kind of makes me nervous. And then cross a busy highway, and then it's county roads all the way home. So I'm just gonna hold it to 10-15 miles an hour and see what happens. But I mean, if something breaks, we're in trouble, because I don't have any way to, I don't know. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Well, there's still a lot that could go wrong, but we're past what I would consider the worst part of the trip, and I want to say we're probably halfway maybe now. So we're basically county road. We got to go across the highway to keep going straight, and then county road all the way home. So at least maybe there won't be as much traffic out here. There was a lot of traffic right in that intersection through town there to try to get on this road. So, and there's been several cars I've let by, like there's one coming up behind me again now, but I cannot drop the tire off the edge of the road or we'll have a bad time. So yeah, hopefully we keep sailing along. Well, we're almost to Sadness Acres, so we're not that far from home. Although when we pass this, it might put off some kind of negative energy that makes all the boards fail now. We've made it this far, but I don't know. At least we're in the neighborhood now where if something bad happens, we can just go get a four-wheel drive and drag it home screeching behind the chain, you know? Maybe by the time we get home, all we'll have is a piece of chain, and that might be okay too. But this is definitely right up there. I'd say every time I do something more stupid, I say this is the worst thing I've ever done. And I have to say, so far, this is probably this is the shadiest thing I've ever done. Hauling this on there, because I guess the big problem is the floor not being as solid as it should be, because the guy who owns the trailer just uses it for hay, and it sits outside, and basically what do? You know, you don't, that floor is good enough for hay, but it's not good enough for a threshing machine. So I don't know. Well, we're almost there. Cars are actually getting out of my way, so that's nice. So hopefully we can make the last stretch. The little neighbor boy actually got behind me in town there for a little bit. Then he passed me, took my picture. Then he got behind me again for a while, and then he passed me again, and I guess went home. So I don't know if he'll be sitting at the end of his driveway trying to film again as I go past, but I don't know. We'll see. Oh, we're so close. We're so close to the driveway. This is nothing short of a miracle, because boy, there for a while I thought, gee, well, I didn't know what we were gonna do. I don't know, I'm thinking about having these beans sprayed again, because there's just a little bit of, well, the drowned out places got weeds in them, but there's just a few places through there where I see some stuff sticking up. And the beans over at Dad's are really pathetic with water hemp. That stupid water hemp, there's some right there. It just, oh, no. Almost made a mistake here at the end, not paying attention. Luckily, the culvert goes all the way to that white fence. Whoa, we need to take a break here. I'm gonna get my mail and try to see if I can feel my legs again, because this has been a tense one. Holy canootsin', friends. I don't know how. I don't know how. That just makes you wonder. I mean, I don't know that that was on camera, but the last thing before we left, I said, I really think I want to crib up the axle. So that's what we did. I laid my ramp down off that other trailer because it bridges 3 of the boards, and then we laid some blocks on, and I think that was the secret to make it home, because if we would have just relied on these boards here, I don't think we would have made it. That side maybe, because the original board is still there plus 2 more, but this one is the board that broke, and I'm gonna have to replace it for him. But yeah, I mean, sheesh. And I'm not so sure, did I break that one too, or is it just, I think that's already been broken and it's been replaced with a 2x6. So I've totally destroyed my other metal ramps though through this process, but that's a minor thing. Wow. Dumbest thing I've ever done, I think, call this home like this. Boy, these tires, they're toasty. I really don't think that this is over the weight limit for this. I think it's just that the floorboards are so rickety that they're not providing the same rigidity, is that what we want to say? Because that's basically, the boards are the frame of the trailer. And I think that's what our problem is. I think if I had one of these trailers, I would either have brand new boards and keep it covered, or maybe I would have to, if I was going to do stuff like this, get some big pieces of channel iron to lay in there or something on at least a couple places to help provide the strength, like when your wheels go on there. But man, I'm just amazed. Oh, Buddy the dog, what are you thinking, pal? Thinking that this is the dumbest thing I've ever done? Well, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, pal. I'm thinking that I might slide her to the ground this time. I gotta unchain it though. I wonder if it'll sit on there while I do that, or if it's gonna go sailing through the floor somewhere. But I'm just thinking, why try to fight all that stuff again if I can just lay it to the ground and then get it off of there sideways or whatever. Because the way you're supposed to load this trailer is from the side. The axle goes out the back, and then you you know, load on and off the side. So that's what I'm thinking maybe I will do, is try to get it laid on the ground. And I don't know, man. Jeez. This was something. I mean, this was really sketchy, I have to say. It was right up there with some of the dumbest stuff I've ever done. I'm also looking at this, trying to figure out how I'm going to get the chains off if I slide it to the ground. Hopefully I'll figure that out. I'll have to take these off first. At least that gold one, because it's chained to the dolly. Boys, whew, this was something. Well, I might as well get to work on it because it needs to come off of there. And yeah, it ain't doing that just sitting here. I could find a hill and try to back it up to that, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can really get that enough. I could practically just unhook it. And another casualty of war was the bolts that hold the jack to the thing snapped off. So I'll have to do that. But I think what I'm thinking here is maybe what I ought to do is just pull the pin and let her hit the dirt. And that would make like a natural ramp off of there. And then I could just hook a chain and keep pulling it backwards till it was on the ground. I don't know. The possibilities, friends. I just don't remember exactly how. I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right, I got it unchained enough. I'm going to pull forward and see if I can get it to slide on the dolly to the ground. See what happens. Alright, well, that's not what I envisioned, but it's what it's going to have to be. It did not, the truck didn't have enough oomph to pull it off the dolly and get the thing flat to the ground. So I just unhooked it. I'm going to let this thing roll downhill, and then what I'll do is just pull it off backwards, you know. That'll work too. There's no difference since, I don't know why, I guess it's probably not been, he probably doesn't use the feature of sliding it to the ground anymore, because I think all he does with it is hay. So but I'm gonna just see if I can shove on that tongue forward and see how it goes. If it looks like it's gonna go good, maybe I need to just hook to it and pull it backwards and be done with it. That might be what I do. I mean, it can't really tip over now because it's on the ground mostly. Let's just tie it around the axle. it should just roll out of there. That cribbing was actually a good idea. That is still holding it very solid. You know, that's why it didn't roll backwards now that it's at an angle. But as soon as I give that a tug, and then I get back to pulling this off of here, why, one pull of the chain ought to make it come off that cribbing, and then it'll probably roll forward a little bit. And if we can even get it on more on the flat, then I might just hook to it and pull it over the side like you're supposed to. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think that John Deere loader tractor is sitting over here still from when we unloaded that little blue Rhino thing. So I'll grab it and make this happen. Oh yeah, it's extremely hot outside again. High humidity. Running like a faucet, friends. But we got a Deere John right here. Friends, it's on the ground. That was crazy. That was the dumbest thing I've ever done. The sketchiest haul by far. I mean, like I said, it's not anyone's fault really. I think that trailer would have been great for this if the wood wasn't as rotten as it is. And that's just the way it is. I mean, the guy doesn't use it for anything but hay, and it works great for that. So like I said, if I ever get one of these, I'm going to beef it up in some way. And then what I might do to haul stuff like this is make some planks that go crossways across the metal frame to where you can actually, you know, do the thing. And wow. So yeah, I got to call this one here. I was going to talk about this thing, but I'm too wore out and nerve-wracked about this, so I'm done for today. It's a myth, just on a side note, you know, when people say, oh, grandma's watching you from heaven and this and that, you know, looking. No, that's not true. It doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible. There's no holes in the floor of heaven, and those people could care less what you're up to because they're in total happiness. But I do believe that God has a sense of humor, and I would say that today he probably called my buddy John's dad and my grandpa into his office and said, hey, I want to show you what these two idiots are doing. And they probably just were laughing. I mean, us trying to put this thing on this trailer with a rotten floor, because I don't know, somebody was looking out for us to make this work, because it definitely, there's no way that that should have worked all the way home. That was super sketchy. It just, anytime you have something with flat tires, it is a lot more difficult to haul. You wouldn't think so. You'd think you could crunch them down and whatever, but it's just not. They just give enough. It's just not a fun time. But it's here now, so we'll get to messing with it a little bit, and one day I'll get I'll get a tarp that we can put over this thing so that it stays somewhat nice. I mean, that's about as good as it was. He had it sitting outside finally, so it's, and people are gonna say, oh, why'd you even get it if you're just gonna let it do that? Well, it was gonna go to the scrap. It was almost cut up, and then somebody said put it on auction time, and I bought it. So if I hadn't bought it, it was going to the scrap yard. So would it really stay nicer in the scrap yard, or would it stay nicer here outside under a tarp? Well, that's like most of the stuff I got. So anyway, we'll leave this one here, and then I'll do another video where we walk around and explain some of it sometime when we're not in the direct sunlight like we are now. And then I'll explain some stuff about family connection to, you know, I had some relatives that owned some threshing rigs and stuff way back in the day, and I'll tell you about that and show you some pictures. So anyway, I think we're going to call this one here. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Do you suffer from low intelligence and are easily entertained? Well, then hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment, and that way we can keep making entertainment that your feeble minds can understand. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.